I told y'all the excruciating power comes between round one, round two, round three. Then there's another resurgence of the excruciating power, round six, and then there's another resurgence of the power again between rounds 9 and 10. And these are for all SNAC fighters. Go and conduct your research like I've been doing for 15 plus. All of the SNAC fighters have that in common. He said, get those clicks, Slick Marty. SNAC nutrition is a hero in boxing. He also said, what does this prove? Take it to court. And he also said, you have no proof. I hope you get sued. Well, let's see what Mr. Bradley said on January the 24th and why he's been coming at me so hard. And why have he been insulting me? Why he keep being in my comment section instead of coming up here to talk to me live? I just want to talk. Why is he taking up for Victor Conte all of a sudden? Where's all this coming from? I did nothing wrong to Tim Bradley regarding this matter. Well, let's hear what Tim Bradley actually said on January the 24th, 2025, on his own channel. You see it on your screen. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
He just needs SNAC. See, everybody think that SNAC stuff is well, quote unquote, performance enhancement drugs. It's not. You know, you got to think about it this way. If you go to prison, right? You go to prison or go to jail, it don't matter. That place is hell. It don't matter how long you in that mother. You can be in there a day. That place is hell, period. You know, and anybody that's been locked up, y'all know what I'm talking about. I ain't never been locked up, but shit, I seen documentaries. I got uncles, I got family in and out of the prison. They let me know everything that's going on in there. So, you know, if you go, you spend his time, you know, he got off, took a plea deal. So he confessed, got a good plea deal, had a great lawyer. He did his time, you know, and you don't want to be a part of that because, look, they slapped you on the wrist the first time. Then you get caught up in that type of stuff again, oh, that's it. That's it. They're going to put you under the jail, for sure. So I don't think Victor Conte is that stupid to get involved into any kind of illegal actions. He's been there and been down that road. He's smart enough. Now he trying to help a lot of these fighters, you know, and that's the reason why he started SNAC. So, you know, look, you don't think that people is watching that guy? Come on, you don't think the industry is watching that guy? Detectives is watching that guy? They got eyes on that guy, man. Absolutely, especially because of his history. So, you know, I had a chance, and this is why y'all here, because I'm open. I'm open to let y'all know. I had a chance to work with Victor Conte. I had a chance when I was fighting. You know, I did some blood work for Victor Conte. I went down. I got my blood work down my local facility. My phlebotomist, they took a test. They sent it out to him. He checked my blood, and he said, "Damn." He said, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "Shit, working my ass off." He said, "Man," he was like, "You don't need me. Your levels is fire." He was like, "Everything is on point. Vegan diet, took care of myself, you know, great vitamin company I'm with."
Why you go to that? You know that man ain't no phlebotomist. You went to your other the phlebotomist. I know you went to not phlebotomist, phlebotomist. You went to the phlebotomist. I know. But why you had to get him to check your blood? Huh? What did you call Victor for, brother? That one. Hey, you don't want to come up here, Tim? Cool. At least you said you want to let everybody know. You want to be transparent. Okay, great. Answer this. What did you call Victor for? That's why that's what I'm trying to figure out. What did you call him for? Why did you give this man your blood, Tim? You know he's not no doctor. And you know he's not board certified, medically qualified, or nothing. No experience in the healthcare industry, no certifications, or license to practice as a medical physician. What did you give this man your blood for, Tim?
Terrence has been doing that for quite some time. And when you look at where he's at right now, I understand, I'm going record for saying this, I understand that people see he's connected to Victor Conti. I was connected to Victor Conti. You never saw me pop for anything. You will never see Terrence pop for anything because Terrence ain't that kind of person, first and foremost. Nor was I, and he's not that kind of athlete, neither am I.
So Victor, what he was doing, which is the juicy thing, what he was doing, this is way back, and we went to court and all that stuff. He was giving me some stuff where it's a cream, you know. So Victor had the whole SNAC thing. Everybody, all these boxers doing SNAC now, right? Oh, they would SNAC. I would SNAC. But SNAC is Victor Conti. So what Victor said, what happened with me is I told Victor, I said, listen, when I fought Oscar the second time, I said, listen, I don't need nothing I'm strong, I'm everything. I don't need this. The second time I fought, this is the only time, I seen Victor 2 times in my life. One time when he drew my blood, the next time when we went to court. So he gives me cream. I believe it's testosterone, something else, clearing. So I take that, and then the other thing was the injectable, was for your magnet levels. So I said, okay, well, anything you give me, I took Victor. Anything you give me, you call the commission and see if it's all good and clear. Victor said, okay, yeah, everything's clear. You're not going to get popped for anything. I said, okay, cool. I'm good. So I fight. I never tested positive for steroids. Never. Never tested positive for steroids. So when I'm, you know, they test me, never happened. They say, oh, Shane got popped with steroids. Never got popped with steroids, ever. Ever. You can look at the things, never. It's only that I was associated with Victor Conti, who is now associated with the whole boxing world today.
Now, with that being said, let me back up, because you said PBC has a muzzle rule for their fighters. When Terrence Crawford was not with PBC, meaning when he was with Top Rank, Obviously, it was in 2021 when he was under your program, when he fought Shawn Porter. Was he tested for VADA?
I think there was, I don't recall exactly, but I think there was testing for Shawn Porter.
For Shawn Porter or Terrence Crawford?
Listen,
Or both of them?
VADA will not test just one person.
Okay.
They're going to test both parties, and they're going to test them as equally as they can.
Okay, so it is a possibility that it could have been tested for Terrence Crawford and Shawn Porter in 2021 when they fought under Top Rank's banner.
So one of the first things that I want to talk about was the issue of whether Crawford and Porter did drug testing. You brought that to my attention, and I said that I wasn't sure. I thought there was, but maybe there wasn't, and we needed to look into this. So the first thing that I did is I went online and I looked at the VADA tweets where they welcome and congratulate fighters, and I want to talk a little bit about that. But there's nothing there, okay? So I did send a text to Margaret Goodman at VADA earlier today asking, was there or was there not testing? So hopefully we'll get an answer here from her, because I don't know. The issue was that one fighter was PBC, Porter, the other fighter was Top Rank. You indicated that Top Rank was the lead promoter. And I'm going to show you here several instances where when Top Rank was the lead promoter, that they did in fact were announced by VADA, and they also, for the Fury and Wilder fights, it actually says TGB Promotions. So I found a couple of instances there with Fury where they even, because Top Rank was. So the deduction is, until we know back from Margaret, maybe there was no testing.
But what Victor Conti will do is he'll make sure that you get the best supplements, the supplements that are legal, that will help your body and help your mind become optimal.
And so the first step, as we've always talked about, is let's get your blood testing. Because if all I am is a sponsor and I'm just sending you a fighter training stack that's generic for anybody and everybody, and you're wearing a patch, but I've never talked to you or I've never tested your blood, I don't consider that me working with you, and it's a real working relationship. But the instant that you give me all that data on your blood, and I can now interpret that and make specific recommendations and prompt you to have great compliance if you want to get some results, now we're working together. Make sense?
Yep.
So that happened initially. I guess the first time was before the Porter fight. And I said, but you know, there's a bit of a conflict here. I would have to get the approval of Shawn and Ken. So before I can commit and say, yes, I will help you in this fight, let me go to them. And I did, as I told you earlier. And then Shawn said, let me talk to my dad. And he came back and said, we're good with it, because they're friendly. They've known each other since the amateurs many, many years. You know, they're warriors when they go in the ring, but they're friendly. And then I went back to Terrence and I said, they said they're good with it. And the only thing Terrence said was, let the best man win. Tell me what to do. How do I get my blood drawn? How do I work with you? And we carried forward from there.
Okay, stop. Hey, Shawn! Oh, I'm gonna crack this case wide open again. Hey, Shawn! Hey, Shawn! Hey, Shawn! What did Victor Conti need to call you and your daddy for? Wait a minute, Victor. You mean to tell me that before Terrence Crawford can come and be a part of the SNAC program because he was about to fight Shawn Porter, you, Victor Conti, the man who owns the actual company, had to get authorization from Shawn Porter and his dad before he can agree to allow Terrence Crawford to work with the SNAC program because they was about to fight each other. Somebody help me I know I'm a college dropout and I'm slow. Somebody help me make sense of this. If all Shawn Porter just told us was Victor Conti just sending us supplements, well, what's all of this authorization and conversation and negotiations for? What's up, big dog Lucky? That was salute to my brother Lucky's in the chat. He just pulled up in the parking lot. Hey, Shawn! What did Victor have to call you for when he owns the company? I own multiple businesses. I never had to call and get authorization from an employee or anybody else. I'm just trying to figure out I got to go back to Shawn Porter's interview.
But what Victor Conti will do is he'll make sure that you get the best supplements, the supplements that are legal, that will help your body and help your mind become optimal.
The owner of the company told Terrence Crawford, I, the boss, the owner of the company, the owner and manufacturer of the product, the owner and the producer of the protocol, I have to get the approval from Shawn Porter, another boxer. It's just supplements. Why did Victor Conti have to get the approval from Shawn Porter? And then why did Shawn Porter have to get the approval from his dad, Kenny Porter? We need answers. It's just supplements. What did Victor Conti need their blood for? You heard him just say, if all it is that I'm doing is sending you a fat stack attack, which is generic to any and everybody. Did y'all hear him? In other words, anybody can just purchase the product, the supplements online without me receiving the data on their blood. It's not a working relationship. Hey, Shawn, what did the owner of the company have to get your approval for before you fought Terrence Crawford? Before Terrence Crawford can get cleared to be on his program? It's just supplements. I cracked this case wide open.